Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a new unboxing today. This is for the TrekPak 1535 Air. The reason why I picked it up was because I have a Monoprice 12139 rolling hard luggage case. For those of you familiar with hard luggages, Monoprice makes a pretty good copy of the Pelican at a fraction of the cost. So they do sales every now and then. I was able to pick one up for about, I think it was like 90 bucks shipped, which is pretty good considering the Pelican will cost you about 300. So I've had this case for about, I would say 7 years now, and the foam inside is getting a little tired. The way that it's designed is the inside's a little soft, so if you stand the case vertically when you store it, everything inside compresses. And after a while, the walls in between your lenses and your accessories, they start to compress, and the wall starts to rip and give after a while. So after 7 years, my lens configurations have changed many times, and it doesn't really fit exactly how I would like it. So I think it's about time that I finally get a new divider system. So when I was searching, I came across this brand called TrekPak. And they make a pretty cool modular system. They first started on Kickstarter with their concept where you actually have these foam walls, and the concept behind it is you can line up everything inside your case, put these foam walls inside, you can trim it to exactly how you want it, and then use these interlocking pins to just hold it together. So I know this is a great product, they have a lot of positive reviews online, people love them. My only issue is that this is designed for the Pelican case. It's not designed for the Monoprice case. The dimensions on the inside, they're pretty close, not exactly the same. So I kind of took a gamble and I picked this up myself from B&H, hoping that it'll work. So right off the bat, everything feels very high quality. One concern that I had when I saw this product online was, I was wondering, what are these walls made of? They seem kind of hard in videos and in pictures. And touching it now, they're definitely some kind of recycled styrofoam or something. They are soft. So if you see here, I'm pressing it. So it's pretty soft. They can definitely take an abuse. They're fairly bendy, very rigid, very strong. The middle has a plastic core, which is where the pins go to hold the dividers together. So these are the pins. Essentially the pins, they go inside these the plastic core in the middle. And it's an interlocking system, you just simply slide it in. You put two of them together and it holds it together. So yeah, looks like everything's here. It's self-explanatory. There may be instructions in here, but let's figure it out together and see if it works. Okay, so this is the inside of my case currently. I have another luggage which has a lot of my other gear in it, but this is one of my older ones where it's not exactly utilized to its full potential. As you can see, I only have a few lenses in here, and then I have a bunch of empty spots, and the overall layout is just kind of weird. So I'm going to take everything out. I'm going to lay out all my gear, and then try to, well, first I'm going to see if the base of the TrekPak kit will fit properly, and if it does, then I will trim everything and then try to fit it. So let's see how that goes. Okay, after playing around with this for a little bit, I think I figured out a way to make this work. For the bottom foam, we're going to use the foam that came with the Monoprice, because it's a much thicker foam, and the one that came with the TrekPak, it's really thin. the inner skeleton of the Monoprice is a little different from the Pelican, I'm assuming. And since the padding is so thin in the TrekPak, I feel like I might damage the lenses from the plastic skeleton. So it'll still work if you use this, it's fine. So what you need to do is, when you're installing the TrekPak, do you see how there's a border here? That faces outwards as you're installing it, and that will line your case. So this piece that has a hump, this little cutout here, is for the top half, for where the handle is. So what I'm going to do is, first off, when you put it in, you need to pull back the foam right here. You have to pull it back a little bit with your fingers so that you can stick the TrekPak down and slide it all the way to the bottom. Otherwise, it's going to stick out about this much and you won't be able to close the cover. Second, after you do that, you're going to have to trim 2 pieces on the border to make it fit. Now, there's this wraparound piece right here. It's a little L shape and it fits perfectly in the corner, so you don't want to cut this half. You want to cut the opposite end, the long end. So there's 2 pieces for the border, and on both of the long ends, you want to cut the longer side. So in this case, the left piece will be this bottom one. The top piece will be this long piece right here. So simply line it up, and you're going to count how many grooves you need to trim off using the trim tool to make it fit. Also, on the bottom here, where the rolling luggage is, where the foot is, the cutout is a little different for the Monoprice case, so I need to use a scissor and cut a little bit more just to have a better clearance. Because you can see right here, it's still hitting, it's not going all the way in. So I'm going to do that on both pieces. Okay, so I found that it's easier to take the bottom foam out while you're working to trim the border. It just fits more snug and you can get a more exact fitment. So this is the bottom of the case. This is the left leg. I trimmed right here on this side. And on the same side over here, the opposite side over here, I made a little cut over here as well. And these are the 2 small pieces that I cut out. It's a very small piece, just so that it fits a little snug. Also the top here, you can see that the cutout for the handle is rubbing a little bit. So I'm going to trim a tiny bit here as well. Okay, so I made my little cut over here. This is how much I had to cut off, and it fits perfectly now. Okay, so moving on to cutting this part, there's a tool that came in the case that all you do is you slide it into the little channel and you just pull it across and it'll make the cut for you. It's gonna be a little hard to hold and film at the same time, so I'm just gonna measure and just cut it and show you the after. So you can see here that it's a little bit too long, and it looks like I need to cut about little channels off so that it lines up perfectly and I can connect it right here. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll show you the after. Okay, so I got it. It's actually 3 little channels you want to cut on both of the long edges. You can see here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, when you're putting the tool into the channel, make sure you count 1, 2, 3, and then you stick this edge, this middle piece right here, into the 4th one to pull it down. So it's a little confusing. You're gonna count 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th one, this middle piece right here, you're gonna insert it into the 4th hole and pull it to cut it. So I found the best way to do it is to put it on the ground, hold it down with one hand like that, and use the other hand pulling it very carefully towards yourself, and then you'll make a nice clean cut. Since there's channels inside the dividers, it'll make a clean cut every time and it'll be perfect. You don't have to worry about it being uneven or anything. Okay, after a little bit of editing magic, I am pretty set on this configuration. As you can see, I had some other Fuji gear that was in a cabinet that I added in now. I'm gonna have my Sony body here, X-T3 there, all my Zeiss lenses, my Fuji lenses. I had a slim spot here, so I put some chargers here. I'm not sure how I like that configuration. This is my Zeiss Batiste that's on the camera now. And that's a 10 to 24 zoom that I had to lay down. Fortunately, it has a weird lens hood that's really wide, so it was hard to fit. So for now, it'll have to go there. I think this is a pretty good setup. Now there's only one more modification you'll have to do if you use it on this case. You can see that these walls are a little too tall because I'm using the Monoprice foam on the bottom. So it's not a big deal. I already tested using a piece of garbage foam, and they cut very easily with the scissor. So now I'm just going to take my time and just trim each piece so that it fits, and then the case will close properly. Alright, so here's the final product. Everything is trimmed. It's not perfect, but it looks really good. There was not enough metal pins, unfortunately. So there's a few here that only has one on one side, but it's so tight that it's not going to move around, so I'm not worried. And overall, I'm really happy. This turned out much nicer than I thought it would. So if you're looking for a new interior divider for your Monoprice case, highly recommend modifying a TrekPak and picking it up. So let me know what you think. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down in the below section. Thanks. Bye.